Welcome back, everyone. The internet took a bit longer to stabilize than usual, and then we began talking about cats in a giant mech. So, we left off, which I have linked in the chat. Um, I was trying to decide what to do next, so I'll just pick up. I'm trying to find a way to allow Valriaut to get through to the portal without getting leapt on by this creature.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and commanding is going to have zero effect. I think I might be better trying to overpower it,
Okay.
and I just need to hold it off long enough for Valriaut to come through.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to like kill it or anything, but I think that seems more like the appropriate action.
Okay. So what are you doing exactly?
So maybe I'm kind of like taunting it, and then like when it reaches out, I try to just like shove it off or anything like that, and shout to Valriaut like, "Hurry up, come on."
Okay. All right. While you're doing that, Travis, what is Agorus doing?
I picked up the stone and cursed my luck because I don't know how to use these things very well, but we'll go for it.
Yeah. You have at least a basic level of ability with these things. They're not. Anybody with the blood can make an effort with transfer stone.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So I was
All
going
right.
to try to open up a portal, try to
Okay.
get to him.
All right. So, Valriaut, you are near the entrance to this reptile house. You are hearing Hrolf yell at you to come on through. Uh, and so you're getting back control over your body. It's still uncomfortable, but you can do stuff now. You're not uncontrolled. As you start to respond to that, you are getting a connection feeling, like something's trying to connect to your mind.
Yeah, I think I was just thinking about how much better I would feel about this whole situation if my hero and champion Agorus was here to slay all of these terrible things for me.
Mm-hmm.
So how very strange that now he's appearing kind of in my head.
At the moment that you get that connection coming through, you're not sure who that is, and you could choose to block it off, or you could choose to open it up to try to find out who that is.
I think I'm. There have been a lot of people that it's tracing a lot of trouble to my door. I'm going to open it. I'm not going to reach through and be like, whoever this is, come see us.
Right.
But yeah, sort of. If we're doing the cell phone analogy, it's the hello with no personal information or anything like that.
Right.
Okay. Because the classic evil GM trick in this game is to have this happening and have it turn out to be an NPC who means you ill, right? However, in this case, it's Agorus.
Oh. I was so excited for the evil GM. I was just thinking it so hard in my head.
Really?
Yeah. Sooner or later, I'll do that to somebody.
If it's Agorus, I think it's like, brother, what a not a sight here. What can I? Time is very short. We are very engaged here. What can I do for you?
You are with them, yes? The demons. You're in the presence.
Momentarily.
I'll just keep focusing. Like,
right.
Do what you have to.
Okay.
So you could ask him to pull you through.
I see what you're saying. I feel like I would place the burden on myself, though, right? Like, currently I'm unengaged, right? Mm-hmm. I should be the one focusing this to get me there, rather than because, like, if there are demons, if he's like in the middle of a fight, I don't know exactly what's going on.
Well, you could say, hey, are you able to pull me through, or something along those lines, and he can decide whether he has the ability to give some attention to that or not.
I think right after momentarily, Valriaut is like trying to hobble his way toward the door, shaking off the worst of it as Hrolf is trying to give me an opening. I'm trying to move toward wherever Ananke went. Mm-hmm. But I am more than willing to basically psychically extend my hand and offer you an assist.
Yeah, I mean, the connection, I would vaguely understand that he's like hurt or whatever, right? Obviously, the lady in waiting.
You can, this is a mental connection, so you can feel that he is kind of twitching a little bit and feeling some the remains of the effect that he experienced. So you get a sense of what he's experiencing, but there's also you and he could agree that this become a physical connection, so that he could pull you through, or you could pull him through, depending on what the two of you want to do.
All right, I still think it's along the lines. I don't think I would even bother like wasting words over it. Like I probably would say something along the lines of like, "Are you injured?" Like I'm forcing my way through. Like I'll be there momentarily, and then I'll start trying to.
Trying to do what?
To open that connection, to bridge the gap.
You and he need to cooperate in order for that to happen.
Okay. Yeah, and I think he does the same thing. He does the psychic assist or whatever. Like he starts.
Yeah,
back
he
in his mind kind of thing.
Yeah, so you had said you were quite willing to do that. So Valriaut, you can just kind of reach out and you take his hand across the physical dimension and just pull him right through, and now he's right next to you.
Yeah, I think that hopefully he's on the bounce, because I'm jogging at this point, and we're doing kind of that Instagram girlfriend like handhold behind the back. I drag him along with me.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Hrolf, there's been you called out to Valriaut. There seems to have been a little delay in him responding. Do you want to try to do something to get this creature out of the way, or open up a pathway, or what?
Yeah, so I want to try to beat this creature back or something, fend it off.
Okay.
For Valriaut to come through.
All right, so it's going to reach down toward you again. You could try that, just kind of push it out of the way. That would be a risky standard roll.
Okay. It's not worth me spending stress, because I'm trying to prevent stress from being spent, I think.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm gonna go for this, and then if I have to resist, a resist was gonna have to happen either way.
Okay.
So I'm gonna try overpower, which is 1 die.
All right.
Okay.
Ooh. So you roll failure. I'm going to say that there are two things that happen. One is that it's kind of grabbed onto your shoulder,
Mm-hmm.
and the other is that the connection that you're looking at is closing away.
Okay. I'll resist getting grabbed if one of you two want to resist, like trying to get to the portal first, something like that.
Yeah. I'm absolutely gonna come skidding around that doorway, arms outflung, and trying to warp that gate in such a way that it holds open.
Alternatively,
Okay.
I have 2 in resolve and 1 in prowess. If someone wants to get it off me, and I hold the gate open.
I am terrible at prowess. You do
Okay.
not want it.
All right.
I'm not great at it, but I'm good at rolling dice.
Yeah. Well, Jacob isn't worried about your stress.
Okay. No, I'll roll a prowess then.
Okay.
Okay. I forgot to say it was resist, but yeah, I got
Did
1
you roll?
stress. I got 5.
Got a 5. Yep. So that cost you 1 stress. And at the same time, Valriaut, you've come through that door, and you see that that there's a transfer stone portal that is closing down.
Is this a resistance, or can I warp here?
That's a good question. Probably it makes sense to do it seems to make the most sense to me to do to not resist that, but as a protect, because it's not quite a protect. Probably just taking an action makes the most sense to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to push myself on this.
Okay.
Yeah, because I can't let that close.
Okay.
Cannot let that close.
I'm going to say that it's a risky standard roll. Standard means that you'll be able to keep it open at least for now.
Okay.
Valriaut, I will also assist you.
Ooh, interesting.
How are you doing that?
I think so. Obviously, the portal's like closing. I think more than anything, I'm going to maybe not like drag him, but keep us moving forward because he probably like pauses or like stops to like try to interact with this. And obviously, our goal is to get through it. So, trying to keep pace or like reverse that whole hand holding thing.
Yeah, now we're going for Venice, and it's an entirely different shot. Yeah, beautiful.
Okay.
4 dice, risky standard. Here we go.
All right. See how it goes. And you roll a critical. Nice. Awesome.
Yes,
all right.
This animal house now has this beautiful door to wherever the hell this goes.
Yeah, whatever is going on here. All right, so let us jump over to Ananke. You've been nicely waiting for some action to get resolved. So you jumped through that gateway, and you go through. You find what you immediately see is a world that is similar to Agorus in that you see a thing up in the sky that is similar to the orb of Agorus. But it is dimmer. It has sort of a little flames coming out from it, which is not what you see with the orb. It's just sort of a big bright orb, and there is a black splotch upon it, just sitting there on that sphere. You're in a large cavern, which it doesn't have a city in it, and it doesn't have civilization-looking things in it. It's sort of lots of stalactites and stalagmites going up and down all over the place. So it's a very spiky terrain of hard rock. Right where you are, right where you stepped through, you see several people. So a couple things, and they all are kind of dressed in garb for the ball in different costumes, but they're wearing costumes in such a way that they're not in kind of big ball gowns or anything like that that would limit their mobility, and they are armed. One of them, as you jump through, has got a transfer stone that they're just kind of holding, and you jump through, and they are reacting to you, sort of a "what the hell is she doing here?" And you kind of jump through and tuck and roll, and are up. You see further away, maybe 50 yards away, you see Kith, and he is appears to be unconscious, just lying on the ground. You he doesn't appear to be dead, but he is not moving and he's not talking to you.
Okay, I think given the circumstances and that I'm greatly outnumbered, I'm going to rely on what I'm good at. She's going to run.
Okay.
So she's going to sprint towards Kith, obviously, because he's about 50 yards, and 50 yards is a pretty fair distance for a sprint. So I think that's what we're going to do here is she's going to sprint to Kith and hope that her friends come through the portal and are able to catch these guys' backs as they come running after her.
All right. I'm going to, under the circumstances, I'm going to call that desperate. Just because there's a lot of stuff here. It's a lot of bad things that could happen to you depending on how this roll goes. So that's desperate unless you want to trade position for effect or anything. So you could trade position by effect by ducking and weaving and bobbing to avoid having things done to you, or you could be sprinting straight out toward it, and you get on this roll you'll get let's say standard effect is going to get you about halfway there.
Can I hear a devil's bargain here?
That's not good.
Do you have one to propose, or are you just gonna looking for something?
I'm just fishing.
Okay. Let's see. So a devil's bargain could be. Let me think for a second. Sometimes I'm good at thinking of these things, and sometimes I am not.
These were
The like go-to I always have is like someone who has yet to be identified is someone you know, because there are a couple people here.
Right.
your mom's here. No.
Show themselves.
Bwahahaha. So here's a devil's bargain, which is that in the process of running, you are going to cut your leg open and take level 1 harm.
Yeah, all right, I'll take that.
Okay.
I'm going to use that to change my position to risky so that I don't get hammered too hard if I fail. And
Okay.
I roll 2 dice.
Okay. And you roll a partial. So probably a good idea that you're only taking a level 2 consequence instead of a level 3 consequence.
Yeah.
So you've gotten yourself well over toward Kith. But one of the 3 individuals there has responded to you and has they looked at you and they sort of pulled themselves in and have spit something out at you. So sort of and has hit you. Since you're running away from them, you've run past them. It has struck you in the back. That would be level 2 harm, right? Because it's risky. So it's going to be level 2 harm in the form of poisoned spine.
So now I have all kinds of interesting questions about mechanics.
Yeah. So that's level 2 harm. What that means is, since you are exhausted, you can't resist that, unfortunately. And so normally, if you were not exhausted, taking action from this point would just cost you 1 stress because at level 2 harm. If you are exhausted and you have level 2 harm, then every action you take is either at reduced effect or so either -1 die or reduced effect, and that's my choice for for each action that you take.
No problem.
Okay, so you're really feeling it. This is no fun for you.
Oh yeah, no, she's having absolutely no fun whatsoever. But I think that while she is dealing with all of this, she is still mentally reaching out to Kith and almost trying to give him a mental slap. Like we're gonna have to get you out.
Have to wake up here. Okay. While that happens, you see diving through the gateway that you just left behind, that other woman that you were tangled with, who you kind of terrified, and she jumps through, but then she kind of curls up into a ball. One of the other people that you'd run past is reaching out to try to get her and try to figure out, is responding to her reaction there. But the other 2 are looking at you and look like they're going to be doing something toward you soon.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that her course of action is still just like wounded the whole 9 yards. If she can run, she's running.
Okay.
Just get that distance.
Okay. I think it makes sense to say under these circumstances, reduced effect. So you're slowed down, you're limping, you can feel this paralytic poison working its way into your body. So normally this roll would be standard effect, which would get you all the way over to Kith, but it's going to be reduced effect, which will get you partway there now.
Okay. Am I rolling a traverser?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to.
If that's still what you're trying to do.
And I think here Can I spend one of my points to make this a standard effect?
One of your points.
I have 2 points in traverse.
Oh, so you're at risky limited. I don't know of a mechanism in this game for trading your action dots, but you could trade from risky limited to desperate standard over to Kith if you succeed.
Shoot, you know what? I'll take desperate standard and hope that my people are not too far behind.
You're taking a serious risk. Okay, so you're just pushing yourself as hard as you possibly can.
Yeah, I think what she's trying to do here is she's accepting that she's going to be able to square up with these people. So she was already exhausted when she came through. So her best course of action is to get far enough away that they can't easily reach her and try and buy some time. So that's what she's trying to do.
So you're just trying to open up room, as much space as you can here.
Exactly.
All right. So that is desperate standard. And you get a partial, okay? So you're going to succeed in opening up a bunch of space there, but that's a desperate consequence. And I'm going to leave that as a cliffhanger for the moment because I'm a jerk. And jump back over to what the other gentlemen in the party are doing. So you had managed to get a critical success on keeping that opening open. So I'm going to say that you have reached out with the power. It was starting to close. You reached out to the power and you just opened it up. And you've got excellent control over it, so that even if the person is on the other side is really trying to close it down or shut off the connection to whatever transfer stone was there.
No, we have you now.
It's your opening now. It's not theirs.
Awesome. Can we see them? Can we see through this gateway, or is it kind of the shimmery, silvery liquid in our?
So it's kind of shimmery, but you can see through a little bit, again, especially since you have that control. So I'm going to say that the other people, the others here can't really see anything through there, but you have that psychic connection to this thing. You know, it's yours. So you are able to just kind of put your viewpoint through it and see through if you want to do that. That would mean that your attention is on that, but you can do that if you want to.
So I can see through this thing. Can I get the kind of the lay of the land? Do I see that dark orb? Is this place familiar to me?
Yeah, if you're focusing your attention on this, then yes, this place feels very familiar to you. It is so it feels very much like the place that you and Morgaine got blasted to that time.
Agorus, I believe it is the dark world. It is home, but it is not home. Ananke will be needing you, my friend. Go.
I was still dragging you. Are you going to push off?
Yeah. I mean, I've got the gate. I don't have to be standing here holding that gate. I'm trusting you to drag me through there.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were saying go as in like without me. That's what I kind of got out of that.
No, put on.
Absolutely.
We are going now.
Yeah. Okay. I was already.
Good luck with your hopes and dreams.
I'm coming along too.
I'm not.
Maybe there are demons on the other side who need some help.
You want to stay with the Strangler, dude? It is pretty fun.
I'm good.
Yeah. I'm going to dash through as quickly as possible. I mean, once I got to this side of the portal between me and Valriaut, I'm pretty sure I was just full bore. Like, I see a portal, that means go through it.
Yeah.
Kind of like that demon, only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no wall this time. I can't run into something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Valriaut, you can hold open gateways and you didn't do that?
Yeah. What the?
But it was funny though, right?
Awesome. All right, so you're jumping. You're running right to the portal. What are the other two of you are doing that? So I'm going to say that you get to the portal. I'm not going to make you roll for that. There's nothing preventing you from doing that. You get to the portal and are diving through that. What are the other?
I was trying to drag Valriaut with me.
Oh, you're trying to pull Valriaut through. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So one thing to understand is that if Valriaut is not the last one through, it's gonna close behind him.
Yeah. So
Valriaut, you know that you're not going to be able to keep this open after you go through it. So you could shove people through and then you could shove people through and then jump through it. But if he pulls you through it, Hrolf is on the other side and not connected.
With the strangler note. Okay.
Yeah, I can run through first then.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could kind of you could say to him, "Hold on."
Right.
PvP roll. I'm racing you.
I'm trying to disentangle myself. Like, no, let go of my hand. Stop it. Yeah. No, if I go through, then Hrolf will not be able to follow. You go first. Hrolf, stop playing with the wildlife.
All right. Then I run in after Agorus.
Right, so Agorus, when he says that, what do you do?
I'll disengage from him then.
Okay, so you let him go and jump through. All right, and then Hrolf, you had pushed the creature away, and you're just going to follow along behind.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to say that the creature is going to make one last attempt to interfere with all of this because that's what its job is. I'm going to make a fortune roll to see whether it grabs for Hrolf or for Valriaut. So I'm just going to say 1 to 3 is Hrolf. So low is Hrolf, high is Valriaut, just randomly. So give me a second, just one die. And it's 2. So Hrolf, it has grabbed onto you once again, unless you want to resist that.
I'm going to try to resist it.
Okay, no problem.
Nice.
Oh, and you roll a 6, so 0. So it makes a grab for you, and you easily step aside. You've kind of figured out what its pattern of behavior is at this point. You're kind of the boss of it at this point, and it does this kind of lurch for you, and you just step right aside, and it completely misses, and you're right in front of this gateway.
Yeah. Okay.
Well
and
done, my
then, and then I step
Okay.
through.
All right, you jump through. And so let's skip to Agorus. So you've jumped through first. So you jump through this. You see yourself in the same kind of dark world that you were in before. You see that the spot on the pseudo orb up top looks bigger than it did the last time you saw it a couple of days ago. You see, the same kind of spiky terrain. You see a couple of. So there's a woman on the ground. Another individual who is kind of got his hand on her shoulder, seems to be trying to comfort her or get a sense of what's going on with her. You see a couple of individuals, and you see some folks running sort of away from you.
Any costumes I recognize offhand?
Yeah, you see that the woman is in the same costume that your sister was in the last time you saw her.
Okay. Yeah, I wanted to know if I would immediately recognize it as that.
She didn't have time to change into a completely different costume, so you can see that.
And looking around, there's not anybody. I mean, I was told there was demonic energy or whatever going on, but nobody is overtly a demon. There's not like a hulking thing or whatever.
You're not seeing any demons at this point, no.
I will immediately move. Well, I see Ananke then as well, I imagine.
Yeah, yeah. You see, as I said, you saw multiple figures kind of running away from you some ways down.
Oh, I do have enhanced senses, so.
Right. Yeah, you do. So, so you can kind of focus your vision and kind of just you know telephoto your eyes forward, and you see that she has some kind of spike thing in her back. She's kind of running as fast as she can away from you, and as you're kind of seeing her, she is kind of, and you can see the dragon up ahead, and she kind of stumbles and falls to the ground just right next to the dragon.
And so I was thinking about this
chasing
just before here, because I was like, well, swords are great, but I'm sure there are ranged options in some worlds.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And I imagine I'm trained. I have Weapon Master as one of my 3 abilities, so I'm sure I'm trained in some forms of them. I was imagining on Agorus, that they have probably like some sort of steam harpoons, I would imagine, as ranged weapons rather than like bows and arrows. So I'm thinking I came prepared, and I've got this steam harpoon, and I'm going to try to blast one of the people following behind Ananke.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can say that that's a 0 stress flashback that you can pull out this steam harpoon thing that you've secreted on your within your costume. So you pull that out, and what do you? And you're just trying to take a shot.
Yeah, just trying to shoot at them. I imagine it's engaged for ranged as well.
Yeah, yeah. We're not differentiating that way the way regular Blades does between 2 different ability scores. So yeah, it would normally be engaged.
Yeah, so I'll just kind of like level it. I mean, my sword's still giving me like enhanced senses, so I probably have decent aim overall, and I'll just take a shot. What's the position effect?
So I'm going to say that that's standard effect. You're pretty much in control position at the moment.
Okay. And offhand, with this being my sister's like entourage, all of them are of the blood then?
Well, you're not 100% sure. She does have people who are not of the blood, so it's not immediately obvious, just from looking at them, what that is.
Okay. And I guess I'll go out of my way to say I'm not necessarily trying to kill these people.
Okay.
Because one, I haven't necessarily seen them do demonic things as much as I trust Hrolf. But also, I probably don't need to kill them immediately. So trying to disable them, trying to at least get them off of Ananke.
Okay. So you wanna shoot somebody like in the shoulder?
Yeah, or the leg or something.
Something like that. Some kind of disabling shot.
Yes, rather than killing them or anything. And I will also push myself to increase the effect.
Okay, so that's 4 dice?
For effect, though. So it would be...
Effect. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you succeed, then you will definitely... this person will have a clock, but that will give you an extra tick on the die, tick on the clock.
Okay.
And you roll a success. So let me just look at my notes for a second. Of course, what happens is I end up with too many notes.
Mm-hmm.
So does enhanced senses also mean enhanced hearing?
Yeah, he has an empowered artifact that gives him increased overall senses.
You know, imagining if he was like zooming in while Ananke was running, besides just seeing her fall over, he was probably hearing her just a stream of profanities as she was running. Just, this is the worst idea I've ever had, and then just boom, hits the floor.
Yeah.
Dragon better be worth it.
Okay. So yes, he can definitely, if he's focusing in that direction, he can definitely hear Ananke swearing and perhaps in multiple different languages if you think that that's what's happening with your character.
Absolutely.
All of them.
Okay. So you get a full success, so no consequences. I'm going to just establish a clock for this person that you have struck, whose name is Malak, and that's 6 o'clock. I'm doing that right, and then okay. So you have struck Malak in the leg, done him some serious harm in terms of taking out his ability to effectively functioning. You were not trying to kill him, and you are very good at aiming exactly, hitting exactly where you want to aim. So you struck him in the thigh in a place that was not an artery that would cause him to bleed out immediately. And he shouts and swears. Let's say he's going to use a similar swear to what Ananke was. As you do that, Hrolf is jumping through that gateway as well.
Mm-hmm. So I see what's going on, and that we're outnumbered, and I'm going to help even the odds by summoning a creature of air.
Okay, that's cool. So you're working on that. That I don't believe is going to require any kind of roll. You can just decide what you're going to invest in what it can do.
Yeah, so it says it can be made in just a few moments. I'm wondering if I can roll a warp to summon it like instantly.
Oh, so you want to speed that up?
Right.
Oh yeah, sure. You could try that. So you're just trying to make it happen as quickly as possible.
Right.
And what characteristics are you gonna?
Definitely, it's going to act as a human-sized warrior who will fight or carry for me.
I figured. Yeah.
That's the main one I'm interested in. The others are less important. So I guess it also has a terrifying visage because I might as well.
Okay.
Got to practice demon summoning, right?
Right. Exactly.
Yep. So I'm going to say that is so standard effect. So standard will be that it come. You don't have to spend more than just a moment or two to summon that into existence. And I'm going to say there's stuff going on, so I'm going to call that risky.
Okay. Sounds good. Anyone have any ideas for Devil's Bargains?
Interesting. Well, a Devil's Bargain could be that Jelamun will recover and stand up.
No, I think that doesn't help. No,
Okay.
I'll just leave it as
Doesn't
this. Well, no, because I'm trying to even the odds, so then having
No, I
another
understand.
person on the side.
Let's see.
I can just roll it.
So another Devil's Bargain could be that you're rushing this. So this creature is more independent than these creatures normally are.
Okay.
And it might do some unexpected things because it just has its own kind of a mind of its own. That could go well, it could go badly, but it has a kind of a mind of its own.
If this thing eats me, Hrolf.
Yeah, I think that's also too risky. I'm just gonna go for the regular roll because I've still got 3 dice. Okay, maybe I should have gone for that.
That extra die might have been helpful. So you roll a fail.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say that the consequence is that you do create a creature which is angry with you.
All right.
It seems like that kind of the natural result of this roll.
That makes
so
sense.
it does have a mind of its own, but it does not consider itself under your command. and it kind of rises up into a big, looming, terrifying creature because you wanted it to have a terrifying visage, and it does. And it is looking like it's kind of, how dare you summon me? And it's reaching out to kind of grab you and shake at you.
All right, everyone, I've got this one.
I'm sorry?
I've got this one.
I've got my target. When you made that.
Valriaut, you are the remaining person on the other side. What are you doing?
So I'm anchoring this thing. Do I think that this will stay open if I step through it?
No, it will not.
It will not. So we'll have to find our own way out of here.
Yeah. Which you've done before.
Sure. Well, Morgaine got us out of that particular mess. But, you know what? I'm going through. My erstwhile friends, despite what occasionally they may think of me, I do not want to abandon them in their time of need. So, I think slowly backing away from what I am still calling the Strangler, Newt, and kind of like taking that slow walk away from a bear until I kind of vanish.
It's up on the ceiling still. It's looking down at you. It's hissing at you.
You are uniquely terrifying. I do not like you at all. I like demons less. I do not enjoy demons. And away I go.
Okay. And you jump through?
Yeah. That does, of course, mean that I back through the portal, so my back is to the thing. So I might.
You turn to the thing. It's kind of run out of steam in terms of attacking these weird creatures that have invaded its space. So it does not take a strike at you as you're stepping through. I'm also going to say that at this point you've pretty much recovered fully from that pain effect that you experienced before. So you're no longer kind of faking or anything. You can still feel it a little bit, but it's not going to affect you anymore.
Well,
and you step through the portal, and you kind of back through the portal. As to whether that's a good idea or not depends on what's behind you as you come through the portal. And what you see, so you step through and you hear a loud, "How dare you!" And you turn and see that Hrolf is being, normally he's a master of the air, right? So you would expect him to be able to control air things, but something seems to have gone wrong, and there's a big whirling, thing of swirling air that is reaching to grab at him.
Yeah. And I'll shout the taint of this place.
See, I was immediately thinking that I was going to get eaten by the spirit of air and darkness, and I was like, "Curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal."
Is this the Umbra?
Yes.
So I can easily just walk into a world in which there is not a giant, terrifying monster that wants to kill me.
Yeah, it's not.
And leave it behind?
Yeah.
Well,
so you could walk away from this world. You would need to move. You can't just do that. You would need to visualize a different place that doesn't have this thing and head in that direction. And
get out of here.
If you wanted to do that quickly, that might be a roll. If you're not trying to do it quickly, you can definitely do it without any trouble.
The other option is, since there hasn't really been consequences of having messed this up, if it's not too late to resist it, I can just do that, perhaps.
Oh, yeah, that was not a devil's bargain. Yeah, you could resist that effect. I'm sorry, I should have given you that option earlier.
I forgot about it too. I sometimes forget that you can resist non-physical things, because that's like 90% of the things you end up resisting.
Right. But resist any consequence from a roll.
So it sounds like a resolve resist?
That sounds right. Yeah.
So I'm basically just not what I meant, and I banish it again.
No, goodbye.
Yep. Okay, 0 stress.
And you roll a 6, so you take 0 stress from that. So it's really not a whole lot of trouble. So it puffs itself up and says, "How dare you!" Starts reaching up toward you, and you just kind of flick a finger at it, and it just and it was charging toward you, and you just feel a breath of air go by your face as it dissipates and just kind of go. It sort of disappears as it's going past you, and it's gone.
You remember that time you were in Autumn Breeze? Yeah, go back to that.
Right.
I'm so sorry.
New Warp, who dis?
I'm glad
All
I
right.
can help.
Ananke, you are you got overwhelmed by this effect because you got overloaded by this. So we never actually resolved what happened with that last roll. So let me.
I think I got the impression that I'm now on the floor. So
Yeah. So which you didn't have the ability to resist. So you tripped and fell, and that was a level 3 consequence. I'm trying to think of ways to not be too mean that still feel like a level 3 consequence from a GM perspective. I think that kind of. I'm going to say that you on that final roll, you were trying desperately to get to Kith. You are sort of overloaded and sort of a little bit conscious, but sort of you're just really completely bleary-eyed right now, and you're just kind of struggling to be aware of what's going on around you.
I'm sure that this is something she has a lot of experience with. It's okay, guys.
Yeah. Well, if you're a shaman of the serpent, stuff happens, right?
Must be Tuesday.
Right. So that's what you're experiencing. Again, normally you could try a resist roll, but you have no stress to play with here. So that's what's going on with you. You are kind of just getting up onto hands and knees and just trying to shake off what's happened to you. But you are right by Kith, and you see, kind of trying to focus on him, stay conscious, and you see that he is breathing, so he's not dead, but something seems to have happened to cause him to be unconscious, and he's just kind of lying there. And then from the other side of Kith, you see a head rise itself up, and you see it reminds you of the creatures that you dealt with the last night. So you see a large black mottled head with eyes sort of randomly distributed over it, looking up over Kith and looking past you toward what's happening on the other side. So there is, it is a big honkin' demon thing. Agorus, you're going to see the same thing since you are focused in that direction. So you see the person that you hit stumble and slow down, but you also see as you get that effect, you're looking kind of past him. You see the dragon. You are focused in that direction, so you can see the dragon breathing. You also perceive that the dragon is unconscious but not dead. But then you see a large demonic head looking up over something, like he's kind of climbed up an embankment that's on the other side of you and has come up and is looking kind of over Kith. I noticed that it's 9:27. And this is probably a decent cliffhanger moment to end the game at.
Mm-hmm.
Because we just made a cliff right now.
I was going to say, yeah, very literal.
So no one is literally hanging from a cliff. So.
Well, I can fill another roll.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds good. And we can pick up next time.
All right. And unfortunately, this would be a game in which, so next game you would not have recovered stress, of course, because you don't have that rest time.
So, for the viewers, we are talking between having 1 or 2 more sessions. It sounds like we might need a session to kind of wrap this up and then a session to Agorus's thing, so we may have 2 more.
Or maybe this is it.
Or this
maybe
is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll pay attention to Twitter, I guess, and we'll keep you posted on what we're doing.
Okay. But at least one more session. We're not going to leave people
Right,
hanging
exactly.
as, well, bye, we're done.
This has been Vergence.
Yeah.
Yep.
Game in which we were mercilessly slaughtered.
But yes, this has been Vergence. We are Hacked in the Dark. My name is Jacob. You can find me at Jacob also doing Asphalt and Trouble stuff. Come stop by our Discord and say hi as well.
Mhm.
And you are... We're going to do a quick sign out or whatever.
Rick and Navi, do you want to push your stuff?
Okay. I'm Navi. You can find me at Navi Musing on Twitter. That's at Drake and Dice on Twitter. And I think that's pretty much all we have to push right now, right?
Okay. Travis, you want to give your Twitter handle?
Yeah, you can find me at Octosplosion on Twitter. Just hanging out, retweeting cool stuff.
And taunting Valriaut.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Like a lot.
I'm surprised I don't get taunted as much considering all
because
the
he likes
shenanigans.
You.
Yeah, no, Valriaut and I are. It's like the people you like. You tease the people you like,
okay.
not the
Yeah.
not the cultists.
I'm just posting a lot of like judgmental gifs of owls just looking at you dramatically.
Well, you are cousins, so
Right.
there's the family connection there.
Mhm.
So I'm David. You can find me at Small Cool Games on Twitter. You can also find Vergence on itch.io if you're interested in that. You can also find that at Small Cool Games, as well as some other stuff that I have up on itch.io. And this has been Vergence.
It does remind me of the one last thing. I just put up the Drowners on itch.io, which is a Blades in the Dark crew of divers in the Void Sea. And
it's awesome.
I love especially all of the opportunities I came up with. Those were my favorite part.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Remind us to make a one-page score sheet for the drowners. That's
Awesome.
real.
You can do that, yes.
that'd be cool. Yeah. That's at
Lots of good stuff this last month.
definitely
Yep.
yeah. So mine's at Jacob also, but you can. It's the Unusual Suspects was the jam. It ended this week. So check that out for over 100, I believe, playbooks.
Mhm.
Playbooks
Yeah.
and crew books.
Anybody interested in Blade should check that out.
Yeah, definitely. And if you want to try any of them out, come check out the Discord as well, because there are always people looking for games.
Sure.
All right, so we'll see everyone next week.
Right.
Take care.